welcome to the Dojotalkpodcast. Please remove them shoes before entry. Sam Master is here, and you still have not taken off your shoes.
Yeah. Living every day to define man's mission. Looking to the sky for divine transmission. Deaf man's vision makes the blind man listen. Eyes on the prize, this is blind ambition. Thank you.
Welcome to another edition of the Dojo Talk Podcast. I'm your host, Serial Sensei. We're on episode number 61. It's cold. I can't emphasize that enough. The heat is not on in my house. I don't know why, but it's freezing in here. But I'm joined with my co-host and a returning guest to the show. How's everybody doing?
We're doing good, bro.
I'm alright.
Stoges happens to be dying, but,
Right?
but I'm doing great.
Stoges is battling the T-virus over there. But you know, it is what it is. We're here. It's early Sunday morning. A lot of fights happened.
Early.
Oh yeah, very early for Stoges, who's in California.
You can't complain. It's 60-something degrees there right now.
Right. You're not anywhere near the fire, are you?
No, but I have the heater on right now. And
Right.
it's like bright as day outside.
Oh, see, yeah, you're living a good life. We're in the ice age over here. There's still snow outside on the grass, but I'm kind of mad at Mother Nature because it just like sneezed where I'm at, and yeah, it didn't get me out of work, so yeah, this snow sucked for me. So it didn't do anything, didn't serve any purpose.
Light inconvenience.
Very much, but it gave me an excuse to stay in the house, not do anything, and watch a ton of fights. Because there were just fights galore all this weekend. Like any promotion that was somebody had a fight. But before we get into the UFC card, we'll just go down some news and notes, things that have happened since the last time we recorded. Probably biggest thing to note, Francis Ngannou and Stipe Miocic is that's pretty much an official thing now. That will be going down at UFC 220. We got picks.
Stipe in round one.
Ngannou by knockout, I guess.
Yeah, I like Stipe. I like Stipe a lot, but Ngannou has this god level strength, and if Overeem was able to drop Stipe, if Ngannou lands a hit like that, Stipe might die. So I'm gonna say Ngannou. I'm going to say TKO round 2.
Whatever.
Other notes, GSP came back, won the middleweight title, got colitis. I still didn't even research what that is, but he has that. Vacated his belt. So Whitaker's now the official champ, right?
No, I don't know. Wait, is he?
Yeah, I think he is.
He is. Yeah, he is.
So I think they named Whitaker the official champ, and now him versus Rockhold is going to be for the title.
Yep.
At least I think he's official champ. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure he is now. And I saw a lot of people complaining about GSP vacating. And I'm like, I don't think you people, like, nobody knows what they want. Like, I feel like no matter what GSP did, people would have complained. And for anybody who hated Bisping being champ, he pretty much just did you a favor. He came in, he beat the champ, took the belt, vacated it. He freed the division up, basically. At least that's how I'm going to look at it. So, GSP is a superhero. You just won't appreciate him until he's gone. But, whatever.
In my eyes, Whitaker's been the champ since he beat Romero, so it doesn't make a difference.
Right. So either way, like, I don't know. And the only valid complaint I saw that I do get is, if anything, like, the way Whitaker got the belt, it was just basically kind of handed to him. I mean, even though clearly he was beating top competition, but, like, he didn't get to have the moment where, you know, he literally went into a championship fight. He beat a guy. You get the moment they put the belt around your waist. You know, like that official moment. But he'll get a chance to show what he can do again against Rockhold. To be honest, I'm probably picking Whitaker in that fight. But that'll be a fun one though. That'll definitely be a fun one. Valentina Shevchenko officially dropped to the flyweight division. Good luck to whoever's fighting her or whoever may fight her in the near future.
She's fighting at UFC Bellum on February 3rd or 4th. Priscilla Cochoera. I can't pronounce that name. I've never heard anyone say it before, so I'm not going to pretend I know how to pronounce it, but that's her opponent. Kind of sucks. You get signed to the UFC and your first fight is against the former, like the number 2 woman in the division up from yours. And I guess she's not big, but this just goes to show how much better she is than everybody else.
That either means they think really highly of you, or they just want you to be a part of a highlight reel.
Yeah, and the weird thing is she's like she's fighting a Brazilian in Brazil, and like Shevchenko is Peruvian by way of Kyrgyzstan, so like it's just going to be an arena of people going silent as Shevchenko kickboxes her way to victory.
It is what it is. I got other quick notes real quick. Mackenzie Dern is now 5-0 after winning her Invicta debut, I think, via armbar. Also on that same card, which I had pulled in front of me at one point, but I lost.
Jennifer Maia?
Yeah, Jennifer Maia defeated, oh Lord, how do you say this? Aga Nedzweeds?
Hold up, let me just pull up her name because I want to get. I think I practiced it and I felt like I got it right. Invicta, see, 26. Niedzvich.
There we go. There we go. So I need to rewatch this card. I caught little highlights here and there. It looked like it was a pretty good card. But those were your main event and co-main event. For the 3 people who care about Bellator kickboxing, Raymond Daniels defeated Giannis Bukas, how do we say that? Via unanimous decision. Joe Schilling defeated Philippe Verlinden via decision. John Wayne Parr TKO'd a gentleman's name I cannot pronounce, Pierre Guilo Paolucci. Kevin Ross dropped a split decision to Hamza Imane, and former Glory featherweight champ Gabriel Varga defeated Roberto Giorita via TKO. I'll talk about Glory later because that's probably going to be one of my parting shots because there was some awesome moments on that card. Any other news you want to mention before we go in?
Oh yeah, are we actually talking about Bellator?
Oh yeah. I guess if you want to, real quick. I didn't even watch the Gertz fights. I just saw highlights, but it looked pretty violent.
It was I think it was like a 90-second fight, so you didn't miss much. I would also like to note that this aired on tape delay last night, and there was literally like, as I looked it up ahead of time, there was literally like 2.5 minutes of fight time left, and they still had like an hour of broadcast time. So we're going to talk about that FS1 pacing, but like Bellator, like Bellator, what are you doing?
Were all of these fights just ending really fast?
Well, I think when they scheduled the time, they accounted for Carvalho and Sakura going like 25 minutes. Spoiler, they didn't. Carvalho got Sakura out of there in like 44 seconds and murdered him in front of all his Italian friends and family and fans.
He's like a hero over there.
Yeah, like he's the reason Bellator goes to Italy.
I was surprised by the crowd pop.
He got elbowed for his troubles.
Yep. And those body shots that set it up were nasty. So
I didn't realize Carvalho hasn't lost a fight since like 2011.
Well, like
his first fight, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, this is what happens when you fight. And, well, Bellator, he's been fighting. He fought how many times last year? Like, twice?
Yep. No, he fought once last year, twice the year before.
Okay. So, keep your champ busy. I don't get why they don't just give Carvalho bodies. Like, just give him people who'll strike with him, and he'll give you highlight reel knockouts. But they do this thing where they have him fight like once a year, twice a year, like every 8 months or something. And I know he's looking for he's looking to re-up on his contract. So I hope that's part of the thing where like they have to give him 3 fights a year. But yeah, he's gonna fight Gegard Mousasi next, so I can't imagine he'll be champ for long.
I think that's gonna be a good fight.
I think it'll be good for like a round, and then I'm gonna say Gegard's gonna do what
take him down and fuck him up.
yeah. But I don't know, man. Carvalho's he's a talented dude. We've seen crazier things happen, so.
We've also seen him go like 25 minutes with Melvin Manhoef and do literally nothing.
Well, I feel like too.
He's like a top 20 middleweight in the world.
I mean, but once you get past like the top 9, that doesn't really mean much.
I will say though, like a lot of people, I would say minus Roy McDonald, a lot of the UFC dudes who have gone over to Bellator lately haven't been doing so hot. So,
I mean, yeah.
There have been some L's handed out. So
then you have Sam Spicilia being the former bantamweight champion.
The balancing act. Life balances out.
I don't know.
Who did he beat? Who did he beat?
Did he beat Galvao or?
Yeah, he beat Galvao.
Oh, okay. I never saw the result for that.
Obviously, I don't even know what happened on the rest of that Bellator card. So.
Oh, shout out to Alejandra Lara.
Colombia. Yes.
Yeah. I just missed the ending. I was switching back and forth between the FS1 card, but I just saw like the highlight that they were showing on TV.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't watch the whole fight. I watched up to the second round. I'm like, oh my god, Lara's about to lose. So I just flipped over to FS1. But she apparently got off Chinikova's back and submitted her with like a minute left in the fight. So big win for her. She might actually be their number 1 contender at flyweight right now.
Why not?
That flyweight division is pretty decent, at least from what I've seen.
Yep. Shouts to Sabina Massa, who's the only person to ever beat Lara, who's in LFA just head kicking people.
Oh yeah, that's that one. Oh yeah, actually there was an LFA card this weekend.
Yes, it was headlined by what's his name, Jackson.
Yeah, Damon Jackson. Oh man, quick side note of something I saw on Twitter. So I listened to another what's the name of the podcast? It's a podcast with Mike the Truth Jackson and this other guy whose name I can't remember. But and people don't know, like the Mike Jackson I'm referring to, the guy who fought Mickey Gall in his debut. So he's like a photographer for a lot of fight promotions or whatever. So he was at Twitter at some event or whatever. So one of the guys who was on the card, like he no-showed to his fight. Like apparently they were announcing his name and he just wasn't there.
Which happens.
So I was like, I've heard of people no-call and no-shows at work, but you no-call, no-show to fight.
Dude,
like,
that happens a lot. It's like the number
wild.
1 reason fights get canceled on the regional scene. Like my aunt had pro fights lined up for MMA, and like her opponent just would not show up.
That's wild.
I've never even heard of that, honestly.
That happened either. That was new to me. That is news to me. Like, shame on you if you can't just no-call, no-show a fight.
Man,
like,
this isn't real. Like, to most of these people, this is a hobby, you know?
But that's a lot of work to put in for a hobby for you not to show up. Like, but I don't know. I guess, I don't know. He woke up that morning, he realized he wasn't about that life, so.
Maybe he got arrested the night before. You can't be too judgy.
Yeah, could be.
Think of the people who actually fight in like some of these promotions.
Yeah, about to say, at that level, you're probably he could have been in some shady dealings. But I'm sorry, I'm not gonna cut you any slack. Shame on you, good sir, for whoever you are. No call, no showing. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for news and notes this weekend. I'll mention the glory card later in my parting shot, because I did get to watch a little bit of that. But
when you brought up that story, I thought you were gonna say like Mike Jackson decided to put the gloves on for him.
That would have been great. He puts down the camera.
That's where I thought the story was going.
Oh man, that would have been a story. Like if he would have dropped the camera, put the gloves on, and like just went in and knocked the other dude out. Oh man, that'd have been story of the year.
CM Punk, you're next.
Right. But guess on to the fights last night. UFC Fight Night 123. I think this was in Fresno, California.
My birthplace.
All right, Stoges. I got to say something about the crowd you guys have over there.
My birthplace. I don't live there anymore.
All right,
That's
man.
what I'm saying.
It was something, but that crowd was annoying me, man. Like there was a moment. It wasn't even just a moment. There were a few moments. I can't remember which fights it happened during, but like just during the fight, you would just hear this random woo from the crowd, and they just kept doing it over and over.
In all fairness, Trevin Giles started it.
I mean, I get it. I get it.
The man was like hitting Braganetto and then wooing. And then when Braganetto got on top of him in the first round, he was wooing from the bottom.
Like that was killing me. It was killing me every time I heard it. There were actually a lot of weird happenings.
You get wooing at every UFC event though. Come on.
But this one stood out though. So it was like they kept doing it over and over and over, and I was like, all right, man.
The worst one is Philly. I will say that.
I don't know. There were a lot of weird things on this card. There were some weird referee moments. Oh, shout out to Josh Rosenthal, who came back, by the way.
Oh yeah,
fights
that's what I just told my friend that. I was like, dude, I thought this dude was still in jail, but
nah, man. We Rosenthal's back on these streets. Oh yeah,
who made his refereeing debut on the card.
Shout out to Frank Trigg for that questionable stand-up.
Was that?
There were. Oh no, there were.
That was on what's it, Mike
Beltran. Yeah, he had some, and I'll definitely get to that.
Oh yeah,
during the Horcher fight. Right. Yeah.
No, I thought it was Trigg too. He had like a question.
He might have had one. There were a couple.
I thought...
there were a couple. But I guess we'll just run this from the top. Main event: Cub Swanson, Brian Ortega. Ortega came into this fight like 9-0, 10-0, or is he 10-0 now? I believe.
Oh, overall he's like 13-0 now.
Oh really? Yeah. Oh. Well, good for him. The streak continued. Yeah, man. Ortega is one of those dudes that I feel like he reminds me a bit of Pettis before his slight decline, so to speak, in that I feel like he's an opportunist, and no matter how much you might be winning a fight or having the upper hand, he only needs a split second notice to grab a hold of something. Or in case of who was that who caught that flying knee from him?
Guida.
Yeah, Guida. Like he just needs those little split-second moments to turn the fight around. And because it's not like Cub was bad in this fight, he was landing some pretty good shots. He was definitely tearing it up to the
best Cub Swanson in like a while.
Right, like
he was sharp. He was fast.
He was killing Ortega's body. He was landing a lot of good body shots. And yeah, like he was pretty much doing everything you could ask your fighter to do. And Ortega to me was kind of kind of like picking the shots. He was being really, really patient, really calm. And I just felt like he was just waiting for a moment. And at first, I didn't think that moment was going to come because Cub had a few moments where he was kind of teeing off on him. But Ortega can eat a shot, but he did do a good job, I think, defensively of not getting like the full brunt of punches, slightly getting out the way. And then the ones he did eat, he has a chin, he can just kind of take them. And then in the second round, he started to put a bit more pressure on Cub, while still eating a lot of shots, but just continuing to plot forward. And was it the first? He almost got
that Darce choke.
That Darce choke, yeah. It was a funny camera angle when like he had it in really tight, and the camera's like from the top view, and you can see Cub's face. And his face was looking like, oh my God, you're not gonna do this to me. And yeah, somehow he got out of it. But
the bell saved him.
It did, cause yeah, that was in pretty tight, and yeah, man, Ortega came out in the second round. It almost reminded me of like a Max Holloway fight where it was like he's getting hit, but he's putting pressure on. I feel like he's about to do something. Like even though I don't really think he's winning, I feel like the tide is somehow turning, and just in that split second, he just takes Cub's neck, and the way like he got the guillotine in first, it looked like it was still in pretty tight, and then like he had kicked off the fence to like seal it in tighter. Guess realizes, hey, I can get this in tighter than what I have, and he does like this readjustment like mid choke, retightens it, kicks back off the fence, squeezes tighter, and then it's just over. And it's man, this he's never out of a fight. Like really, really, really impressive performance. He did get his nose bloodied up from a few of the shots he ate, but like he just never looked worried or dazed or anything. Like he kept his composure the entire time, and he waited for his moment, and he got it.
There's just like this feeling of like inevitability with him, where like eventually you're going to tie up with him because he's going to make you tie up with him. And how well you do depends on how well you can stay away from getting submitted. Because the submission that the setup for that Darce and the guillotine were basically the same. Like Cub eats a knee up the middle, ducks like underneath his arm, or like Ortega stands up straight while Cub like kind of like tries to do like tries to go under, and he just catches his neck. And I don't know how you like deal with that. Like once he actually grabs you, there was an instance like 30 like, and the instance that led to the submission, the guillotine, was Cub was backed up to the fence. Ortega came forward. Cub moved out the way. Like he got out. He got away from he got his back off the fence. Got an angle, and then jumped right back in with the right hand. And that's what caused him to lose the fight, because Ortega tied him up from there. Like he landed, but Ortega got what he wanted. He got that over under.
Yeah, I almost feel bad for Cub because it's like I don't know what else really you could have done. like
short of knocking him out, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a rough way to go out. So Stoges, I know you're a Cali guy, so were you pulling for anybody specific?
Not really. What was I gonna say? Like Ortega, he kind of. I'm not gonna say like he reminds me of like Tony Ferguson, but like the way they end.
I think that's an apt comparison.
Yeah, like Tony Ferguson, like his last 4 fights, he was losing all of them, but he comes back to win somehow. I get like that same vibe from Ortega, where he was losing in the Guida fight. He's just always gonna end up losing these rounds, but he always finds a way to win, which is really impressive.
Yeah, that's the only thing that does worry about him is I feel like he's a slow starter, and like he doesn't I mean, well, obviously it's still working. He hasn't lost a fight yet, so
His
don't
strike-
listen to me.
His striking is really suspect.
It's getting better, but yeah, it's not. It's not. You know, I don't think it's like elite level.
I think it's just
But-
an activity problem, to be honest. Like when he's actually throwing and when he's like working behind the jab, it works. But a lot of times he's just kind of coming forward and maybe like throwing 1 or 2 strikes, but a lot of times it's just he's walking forward.
Right. Yeah, and there's not really much else going on. But even somehow, still with that, he's winning these fights.
Like
But
he's
it
5-0 in the UFC with 5 stoppages.
right.
And if he didn't fail that drug test, he'd be 6-0.
Yeah, and it just. I guess the only thing that worries me about him, like I am a big fan, but I worry like if he were to find himself in like a fight with a guy like a Frankie or a Holloway, like you're gonna have to have more output than that, because those are 2 guys who they can just go, and I don't know if you just waiting for the perfect moment against those 2 is gonna work, especially Holloway, who kind of does what Ortega does, but probably even more dangerous, to where like the fight goes longer and he just builds up strength somehow and goes in for the kill. But either way, Ortega is like the greatest opportunist in the UFC.
Well, you say
give him
that, but there's somebody else, and somebody will want to see him fight. I want to see him fight Ricardo Lamas.
Yeah, I saw that get thrown out there too.
If he gets by Josh Emmett from Team Alpha Male. I got hope.
I don't know.
We saw that he ruined. We saw in this card that he ruined the career of one Jason Knight.
Oh
So
yeah, Emmett's got he's got a tall task in front of him. I wouldn't mind seeing that fight though, because I mean Ortega didn't like vouch for a title shot. He said he pretty much, I'm paraphrasing, but he's willing to wait for Frankie to get his shot first, and then he'll come in next. So I mean, if he wants to fight in between time, if Lamas gets out of that fight, I'm definitely down to see that.
Yeah.
I like how he used his post-fight time to ask for Dana White to find some rich dudes to invest in his charities.
Hey man,
Good guy.
part of WME now. You gotta take advantage.
Exactly.
Ari,
It's
throw me like
Endeavor
sumo.
now. It's Endeavor now.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
my God.
that's a terrible name.
Honestly.
I guess real quick
He
before we
deserves a
get off.
number- He
Okay.
deserves a #1 contender fight.
Yeah, no doubt. Like that, this streak he's on, and especially since he's been finishing everybody, like,
Yeah.
yeah, he definitely deserves a big step up in the contender fight. For Cub, I guess, because I believe this was the last fight on his contract.
Yep.
Welcome to
And
Bellator, my friend.
Because I was gonna say Cub is what, 34,
Something
and
like that.
I saw a quote that Dana said, we want to keep him happy. We hope we can re-sign him, but I tend to not. Dana gonna Dana, so I can't really take what he says all too seriously sometimes.
Like, I feel for Cub. Like, this dude was on like a 6-fight win streak, and because Frankie Edgar dropped a weight class, Conor McGregor just stormed out of Ireland to just rise up the ranks really quick, and then he was forced to face Chad Mendes, he was forced to face God, what's his name? Frankie. Chad Mendes was out here just knocking dudes out like for a year and a half. Like, he just suddenly found knockout power, and then he had to fight Frankie Edgar. Like, any other weight class, this man would have had a title shot, except maybe lightweight. But timing did not work out in his favor.
Yeah. Bad luck.
And yeah, and it really sucks. Like, this dude's been fighting for a long time, man. And he's did he ever get a title shot in WEC? Because I don't think Aldo was Aldo wasn't the champ when they fought.
That
That
was
was
the #1
a title
contender.
eliminator, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I remember watching that. Oh.
Yeah, that was a quick one. But hey, man, if I would like to see him back in the UFC, but if I'm being realistic, Cub is 34, and as exciting as his fights are, I don't have faith in the UFC that I feel like they're just really willing to just let people walk, especially considering he's 34. Like I'm pretty sure they're gonna figure like you're not gonna be around here much longer anyway. So I don't know. I'm Cub versus Daniel Strauss will probably be a fight next year. That's all I'm saying.
He's got some interesting matchups in Bellator at 55 and 45.
Yeah, I would say and it's not like Bellator's 45 is terrible. Like especially if you get to their top 5.
Him versus Pitbull, him versus Sanchez, him versus Chandler. Like those are all great fights.
Yeah. So
Brent Primus.
Who?
I was talking. Shout out to my homie Davon. I was talking to my friend yesterday, and somehow we brought up Michael Chandler, and both of us forgot Primus was champ. Like it still happens.
Oh man,
it's so weird. No disrespect to Primus. I feel bad for him.
Is that guy ever gonna fight?
I have no idea.
I don't know, man. Like, cause Chandler came back and fought already, right?
No, Chandler. Wait, he has a fight lined up though.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's fighting Goichi Yamauchi.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I like Yamauchi, but yeah, that's a tough one. That's crazy. Like, it's as good as their division is at 155. You would think Primus would have fought again already.
I'm assuming he's gonna fight Pitbull.
I think his wife had a baby recently or something. That's why he hasn't had a fight booked.
Man, I say the dude's built like Captain America. I'm sure he can. Well, I get it. Yeah, if you got a kid, you gotta do the family thing. But I'll try to remember that he's champ next time. But awesome win from Ortega. Another highlight reel finish. I hope to see Cub back, but to be honest, I don't have faith in the UFC brass that they'll bring him back. But hey, if he goes to Bellator, still great fights over there. So I'm pretty sure we haven't seen the last of him, whether it be in the UFC or not. This co-main event. Speaking of Ricardo Lamas, apparently taking the soul of somebody. Gabriel Benitez, Jason Knight. Yeah, man. I noticed like right off the bat, within like the first about minute or two of this fight, I was like, "It's something off about Knight. There's something's not clicking."
He was just going for the knockout like the first minute, and once he realized he couldn't get it, he just kind of shut down.
Right. And because like he did tag him pretty good in the first, he tagged him a couple of times, but I don't know. Yeah, like you said, like when the knockout didn't come, and then he would have the instances where he would shoot for takedowns and try to get it on the ground. And that didn't really work out too well. And he had a decent first round. But, man, 2 and 3, Benitez picked him apart. Like, he put on a clinic on Knight. Like, just really technical, slipping punches, working angles. There were just so many times where Knight was just putting everything into the punch and just hitting air. And, yeah, Benitez he worked him. Like, I don't have much of a technical analysis other than Benitez rounds 2 and 3 picked this man apart and just beat him, like literally just beat him to a decision. And Knight just looked off. Something just wasn't there.
Enrique Barzola, best featherweight ever. Just throwing that out there. Benitez. What I really like that he did, like he would every single time he'd win the outside angle, and that's the point where like Jason that was getting hit with like 3 or 4 straight left hands in a row from like Benitez. Like so, Knight would throw, Benitez would throw a jab, step to Knight's outside foot. I think Knight is orthodox, right? Or am I flipping them? And Benitez would step outside to his to Knight's left, and just land like 3 straight right hands in a row, and Knight's only response would be to run straight backwards,
Right.
Like he wouldn't try to hit a pivot. He wouldn't try to like step out an angle. He just run backwards, and it would just allow for Benitez to land 3 or 4 more punches. He couldn't take him like at one point. Like Knight just completely stopped throwing straight punches. Like he was literally just winging shit.
Yeah, I think he got frustrated because he got shut down. And to be honest, he's lucky he didn't get KO'd in this fight. Because, like, the instance you mentioned where, like, he would turn around, there were a few head kicks that were...
I don't think he saw them coming.
Yeah, like, he was doing, like, the Overeem thing where, like, he kind of just literally turns his entire body around. And those head kicks were really close. Like, he's lucky he didn't get the light shut off. Because... Yeah, man.
Benitez landed like a left hand to the body in the second round, and you could just see the life drain from Knight's face. He's like, "Shit, I'm not gonna win this fight, am I?" I was like, that's at the point I'm like, okay, he's about to get knocked out, but he toughed it out. Props to like, it wasn't me. Did he look a little sick, like sickly? Like he. Like his face was more
drawn in.
Yeah, than normal.
Yeah.
Like
he
had full on meth face.
Coming down from the meth.
Yeah, I don't know.
Now he was between hits.
Maybe that was it. I don't know. He did look off though. Like he just, I don't know. Maybe he had a bad weight cut.
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Like he looked worse than he did on the scale, like in the cage.
Yeah, cause it was like this definitely isn't. I mean, even I know he lost the Lamas fight, but like it's like he just didn't look like the same person. Like he looked like a completely different person than we've seen like the last few fights.
It could just be that Lamas broke his confidence.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, that was a. I don't know. They might have, and I didn't. They probably rushed him too soon with that fight. Like I get it, he was on a little streak. He's putting on some really exciting fights.
Well, I think he was a late replacement.
Was he? Yeah. He might have.
I don't remember who Lamas was supposed to fight, but
going from Chas Kelly to Ricardo Lamas is it's a big jump in comp. So yeah, I don't know. He definitely got work though. All props to Benitez. He put on a clinic. I don't know if he steals that number 15 spot because I think Benitez was probably like just outside the top 15. And was Knight at 15?
Knight was 15.
Yeah, Knight was 15.
So that spot should go to Barzola, the fighting pride of Lima Peru.
Oh man, but yeah, man, great showing from Benitez, and yeah, I don't know, Knight, man, you gotta go back to the drawing board. That was a rough one. It was getting hard to watch after a while.
Maybe go up to lightweight, or maybe try something different with your diet. But yeah,
'cause he didn't look like that in his other fights. It must have been. I'll cut him some slack just because I mean he's fought what 5 times in the UFC already, believe.
Yeah,
so it might have just been like an isolated thing, like maybe just this particular camp he had a bad weight cut or.
But this is like his 4th fight of the year.
Yeah, he is on that Cerrone tip. So that could be it too.
Yeah, so take a break.
Yeah.
But
Stop
really,
doing
shouts to Barzola because not Barzola, Benitez because he fought like a really great fight.
Yeah, like he did everything but get the knockout. Like he literally did everything but get the knockout. Oh Lord, speaking of knockouts,
hey,
yeah, buddy, this next fight, Marlon Moraes, Aljamain Sterling. You know what hit me like? When this fight got announced, I was pretty excited. I liked the matchup. And then, like, while they were doing the walkouts, it kind of hit me. I was like, I don't know if this is a good matchup for Sterling.
Yeah.
Because when I really thought about it, I was like, Moraes isn't the easiest guy to take down in the world. So, I mean, Aljamain's a talented, he can grapple and get top pressure and all that. But I'm like, he's not an easy guy to get down. There are very few people who can hang with Moraes in a strictly kickboxing match. So it's like, I don't know what your path to victory is if you can't get a takedown. I mean, we kind of saw that's what happened. I mean, they exchanged a little bit in the beginning. Did Sterling go for a takedown?
That's why he got knocked out.
Oh yeah. Because before that, he what did he get caught with? He got caught with like a left. I think he threw an uppercut. I don't remember if the uppercut.
He got caught with like
landed.
an overhand right as he was like dropping down, or like they were tied up or something. He caught Moraes caught him with a right hand that dropped him, but you couldn't really tell because it also kind of looked like he was shooting for a takedown. So
yeah. He ended up on the ground either way. I'm pretty sure, yeah, probably the right that put him there.
It was literally seconds before he stood up and got knocked out.
Right. Like, he ate ground and pound. He did go for, like, I don't know if it was an armbar. Like, he went up for some kind of submission. Marias got out of it. And, yeah, literally the second they got up, he shoots in for a takedown. Marias was going for a high kick, but the knee just caught him because Aljamain literally, he just ran right into it. And
yeah, he went
instant cut.
He went
out.
He went out like over him.
Yeah.
Like toes curled and everything.
Yeah. And it was a great knockout, but after like 2 minutes, I was like, he's still not moving. Like he was out cold. And I was watching Twitter updates from people in the crowd, and they were giving updates like, yeah, he's still like 10 minutes later, he's still out. And then somebody finally said like they carried him out.
He was talking to the fans on the stretcher.
Yeah. So, glad he is okay because that was a vicious knockout. I guess though on the flip side, because I've been a Marias fan for a long time, and I'm so happy he's in the UFC doing work now.
Same here.
And yeah, I'm glad he got that highlight moment after his first two fights. Just really close split decisions. So he got his highlight reel KO. I like that he's being active. He's trying to gun for that top spot. And I gotta think a KO like that probably earned you a pretty big fight next.
Yeah. Dude, when they made this fight, I thought this was a terrible matchup for Sterling for the exact reason the fight was finished. Like, Sterling's whole thing is he catches dudes at the end of his kicks, and they tend to be like long, well, not long. They tend to be like flat-footed, slow-footed dudes like Barao, or even Caraway, who's not like the fastest dude. So he's able to just like dive in on legs from really long distances because he's just happens to be really long and slightly faster than his opponent. Like, Moraes is a Muay Thai fighter, but like he's as quick on his feet as anybody in the UFC. Like, there's a dude who had the foot speed to match John Dodson. Oh, we didn't even mention that. This is Moraes' like second fight against a top 10 opponent in like a month.
A month.
Third in like 5 or 6. Because you also had to fight with Rafael Assunção. But yeah, like this, like I figured he'd get caught reaching for like a takedown or something at one point. It just came way earlier than I thought because this was like 67 seconds into the fight.
Man.
So how good is Rafael Assunção?
the underrated GOAT. Does he have a fight lined up?
I think they want to give him Cruz when Cruz comes back in March. Either that or he's going to fight Garbrandt, which is going to be funny.
I hope that does happen. That's
realistically weird. he could win that fight.
Dude, really? Like,
we talked about this already.
Yeah, but like, yeah, I don't know what's next for Moraes. Maybe like the winner of Lineker, Rivera. But like this was a huge win for him. Probably does a lot to knock the bad taste he left in everybody's mouth against Assunção and Dodson.
Yeah.
Except for Dodson, who probably still tastes the vomit.
But Oh yeah. Oh, I'm glad you reminded me of that.
I'll bet.
Jesus, that was. Oh man.
I'll bet
Yeah.
like the $20 Starbucks gift card that Cody beats at Sunsow.
$20 Starbucks.
I'll send it to you.
I mean, I don't know. Like, as good as Cody is, like a Sunsao, he's just one of those dudes. He's under the radar, but he could probably be champ at any given day. But somehow nobody knows about him.
Take the bet.
Weird. I'll think about it. I don't like Starbucks. I got a better place I go to. I'm not a Starbucks guy. Maybe Chick-fil-A. I'm gonna Chick-fil-A. No, I'm a part of the tea gang.
I'm water. I'm boring.
Water's good too. I can't do coffee. I don't like the smell of coffee. It bothers me. And I don't like seeing people lined up at Starbucks at 5 in the morning. It makes me feel some kind of way.
Y'all some addicts.
Right. It's not a casual drink. It is a drug. It is a liquid drug.
Yes.
Top of the 135 is kind of interesting. Just because, like, you got Cody, Santal, Cruz, Marias, and then the winner of Rivera Lineker. It's like all those guys are just tumbled up on top.
And then you got guys like Brett Johns who are out here calf slicing dudes.
Yeah, like that division is pretty stacked, honestly. Like there aren't really any easy going fights down there. It almost makes me feel bad for, huh?
The Cruz literally back in March. I didn't hear anything about that.
It's a rumor. Like they're thinking that's when he's gonna be ready by.
Cody Cruz rematch.
I mean, really, I feel like once you get into like that top 7, any matchup is a good one. Like, at least on paper, all of those fights are fun. It makes me feel bad for guys like Almeida and Duquesnoy. Like, it's gonna be really hard to just rise up in that division because everybody's a killer.
Yeah.
But we'll all win because it'll be so much violence. Like everybody in that division pretty much brings a good fight. So, but yeah, Marias, he took a soul. Glad Aljamain's okay though. But yeah, I think he put some people on notice. This.
More prospects the last couple years.
What is that?
Do you think Sterling's like one of the more overrated prospects the last couple years?
Yeah. How do I? I don't know, man. He just, I don't know. It's I hope he doesn't turn out to be
anyone.
Yeah, like I don't know. Like he's really talented, but I don't know. I don't know if he's one of those guys that just he'll beat most people who aren't like elite competition.
It's like Phil Davis.
But like, yeah, you know, if you're not elite competition or if you're not elite or you're on like that lower end of like the top 15, he can probably take you. But when you throw him in there with the big boys, at least for now. I mean, I won't throw that on him yet, but his 3 losses, or at least recent losses, are to Caraway, Assunção, and of course this fight. So yeah, I don't know. It seems like he's right there, but then he's like not there also. But I don't know. I still think he can still figure it out, but I don't know, man. It's really hard to tell. It's hard to tell. And that division doesn't make things easy for anybody.
Like I said, like his game reminds me so much of Phil Davis, except Phil Davis doesn't have to deal with all the killers he does, like Sterling does, because like heavyweight, you're either John Jones, Daniel Cormier, or Alexander Gustafsson, or you're just a dude who likes to wrestle and can box kind of well, like King Mo or Ryan Bader. But like where Davis can get away with it because he tends to be like a little fat, like he has an athletic advantage at light heavyweight and a big ass size advantage. Sterling doesn't have those things. Like he can't afford to be this slow with the take. He can't afford to like not have a really good blast double because there are guys like Asuncao and Rivera and like who are just like tree trunks. Like and Marlon Moraes, who's like just, or John Dawson, who are just really fast. And I think just not having a pure athletic advantage that is exploitable is going to cost him in the long run. Like he's not super strong, he's not super fast. He's really good at what he does, but
yeah, it's certain people will probably just present like just styles make fights, and just there's some matchups for him that probably just won't swing in his favor.
I'm not gonna lie. Like I gave up on him when he lost to Caraway. I was just like, dude, I hate you now. Why did you let me down?
And he was supposed to have been on this card also.
oh, Caraway, yeah.
Yeah, he was supposed to, and we'll get to that fight later. Cause I kind of feel bad for Luke the way that whole. Yeah. I guess we'll move on to the next fight. This was the referee moment that had some questionable.
Mike Beltran.
Yeah. Scott Holtzman and Daryl Horcher. A lot of this fight was Holtzman just kind of just trying to take control with grappling, not get caught with a left hand, which he ate. I think he ate one in the, I can't remember the first or the second, like kind of briefly stunned him, and then he just immediately went for a takedown.
So he got rocked with a left hand almost immediately after Mike Beltran stood him up in the third round from mount. You could tell he was really pissed.
He was looking at Beltran like he was about to switch opponents. Like he was about to stop fighting Horcher and just give Beltran the work. Yeah, those were some. I mean, I get it. You know, I can see it for guys on the ground and he's just not doing anything. But like Horcher was working for position. He's throwing ground and pound. He's in mount. Like I don't know what else you want him to do. And he got stood up with it twice or three times. I can't remember.
It was twice, but he kept fucking saying, "Fight to finish." Like this dude's throwing elbows from like the top, and he's just like, "Fight to finish, advance your position." It's just insane.
And
Mike Beltran hates grappling.
Didn't he ref the Jason Knight fight too? Or who was that?
No, that was who's this guy's name? Mark Smith.
Yeah.
Okay. I forgot. One of the refs was saying like fight back when
He's
both
accurate. No, it was he was saying that to Knight. And I kind of get his reasoning because Knight literally looked like he was on death's door at certain points in that fight. Like where he was just like, stop fighting. But like here, like Beltran like just seemed to have like an aversion for them being on the ground. He's like, no, I want you guys to stand.
Right. And I mean, lucky for Horcher, it seemed like every time they stood, he would land a good shot, and then he would just kind of get taken down again.
Yeah. Like I really like Horcher. Like the dude's a dangerous striker. He's good at like small punches, like the shots that don't look like they're supposed to hurt, but they do. I can't remember. In the first round, Holtzman went for he went to initiate the clinch. Horcher bridged with his arms, like one on the shoulder, one on the inside on his bicep, and like pushes him off. And as he's pushing him off, he just touches him with a left hand. And that's like the kind of stuff I like, because it's the stuff that catches you off guard, and like fills in those spaces where normally there's no punches being thrown. But the dude cannot stop takedowns for nothing.
Yeah, he was getting kind of ragdolled. And man, his corner, man, there's certain corner advice that just bugs me when I hear it. And it was one point, I think it was at the third. I remember it was like the second or third round. Horcher gets taken down, and
They're like, get up at all costs.
You're right. They're just like, get up, move, get up. You gotta move, Horcher. And it's like, all right, I get it. He's losing the fight. You know he's kind of got to go for broke if he wants to get a win. But like, there were no instructions other than just get up. Like, I'm pretty sure he knows he needs to get up. Like. You got to give the man some technical advice other than just move.
By the way,
yeah.
shouts to Jason Nice Corner, who apparently one of their cold words is muddy waters.
I did hear that. Had no idea what it meant. Whatever it was, I don't think it worked though.
No, but awesome.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, like Horcher was straight up out of luck.
Yeah, the takedowns were just a lot of pressure. He just couldn't seem to. He had little moments here and there, but yeah, for most of the fight, he got spent on his back, just kind of eating ground and pound. So, I mean, shout outs to both. Horcher made most of the moments that he did have. Holtzman had to fight Horcher and the referee, so props to him. This next fight. This guy who I want to root for, but I don't like rooting for because he used to play for Alabama.
He doesn't anymore.
He doesn't, but once you're Alabama, you're always Alabama to me.
I hate Alabama.
I despise that school.
Same here.
But Eric Anders, Marcus Perez. I will say this though about Anders. Like, I remember, and I think I mentioned this in his debut fight, that like when he got the call to the UFC, because I saw him fight in LFA maybe like once or twice, and you know, of course he was a linebacker at Alabama, so you know the dude's athletic, you know he's strong, but I was like, I don't know how good he'll do in the UFC. Like, I don't know if his skill set is all there yet, and he has definitely proved me wrong so far. And I don't know if it's just me. These guys look like they were in completely different weight classes. Like, I know this was at 185. Anders looks like a 205er, and Perez looks like he's barely at 185. Like, and Anders was just so much stronger, it seemed like, than Perez was. And he just kept pressure on him. He was landing some big lefts. And he just kind of muscled him around. I mean, and Perez was game, though. He was still out there, like, having fun while he was fighting, throwing the, like, that crazy rolling kick. And, like, he smiled at Anders. Anders is all business. He wasn't laughing at all. He was trying to kill him. But, yeah, man. Anders is, I don't know. I think he shows that, you know, UFC should go after more of these college athletes, man, who, like...
Well, like, they have in the past. I don't know what happened where the cutoff is, but you got guys like, what's his name? John Vellante, Matt Mitrione, Schaub, like guys who just came out of a Combine and a Combine. Which one is it?
The Combine. Nobody came out of the Combine.
I don't freaking know. I don't watch football, nor do I like it.
Oh my god!
But they come out the Combine, and then like they have no other career options, so they end up in the like fighting. Like, it happens in boxing, happens in MMA. Does not happen in kickboxing, probably because there's no money. Well, pretty sure that's how what's his name got into MMA. Sean Jordan too. But
yeah, I forgot. Yeah, he was a football player.
Yeah, no, Anders looked kind of how I expected him to look against a dude who came in on short notice, except he didn't get the finish. Like he is just straight up he's still green, but that doesn't matter so much because he's just so much physically stronger and faster than so many of these dudes in the middle of this division. Like Natal was like the quintessential middleweight. Like he's the real middleweight champion. If you want to see what a middleweight fight looks like, go look at like a Natal fight. And Anders just kind of ran over him. And he tried to do the same thing here, except Perez is not. While Perez was there to be bully, he's not just going to play into that game of just I have to be this tough dude who stands in front of this guy. Like he spent a lot of the fight just trying to survive.
All right.
I hope they do. I hope they bring Anders slow. Like they bring him up slow because, like, there's such a gap between the top 10 at middleweight and like the entirety of the rest of the division that 2 or 3 fights isn't enough to get him prepped for Kelvin Gastelum.
Right.
Let alone like Whitaker or Rockhold or Romero or Jacare or whoever. But he fought well here.
Honestly, I'm looking at the rankings now. Yeah, I don't even know if he's ready for anybody in this top 15.
Yeah.
I mean,
like there was a lot of just straight up I'm going to run at you with like throwing punches and it's going to work because I'm faster than you. In this one, but he was reaching on a lot of them.
And I mean, shout outs to Perez. He did come in on short notice. That was his debut. Like I said, he was game, but against a guy who's just that big and strong and just freakishly just like athletic. Yes, there's only so much you can do. Yeah, I don't know who I would like to see him against next. Maybe not I'm trying to think of somebody in middleweight who's like
Dan Kelly.
I didn't want to say it. I don't want to. I picked Dad Bod to beat everybody.
I want to see that.
What was Dad Kelly's last? Oh, didn't he just lose?
He just lost to Elias Theodorou.
Oh man, that stupid fight.
Yeah.
Shoot, give Anders Theodorou.
I said just remake the fight that they were gonna have. They were gonna have who was it? The British, the Welsh dude, John Phillips. Like if they can get that fight, just rebook it.
Yeah, I mean, you give him a few more fights like that. Some other people who are kind of like around his level / like skill set. And then I think if he gets like 1 or 2 more wins and people that are like around his ranking, maybe you think about a name. I don't know. I still don't know if you give him top 15, but it seems like he's working his way up there.
Mearshart, what's his name? The guy. Alessio Jericho. Is Bahadur Zada still a middleweight, or is he going back down to welterweight?
I have no idea what he's still doing.
I didn't even know he was still in the UFC, honestly.
He just knocked out Rob Wilkinson.
Yeah, man.
September.
Yeah.
Sarah's still out here putting in that work.
In the co-main event.
How old is he?
34?
He seems so much older.
He's 33. Like, this is a dude who we were talking about as a prospect like 7 years ago.
Right.
Exactly.
Now he's a dad bod.
Oh, man. You know what? Every time I think of him, I think of Brandon Thatch, and then I just get angry. Because they fought. Oh, man. No.
Everyone angry.
You couldn't have told me that Brandon Thatch was not gonna be like a title contender.
Honestly, Jesus.
What about a guy like Oluwale? What's he doing?
He's 1-3. I'm not even sure he's in the UFC anymore.
Oh Lord, he's still on their page. So
All right. I mean, honestly, they're kind of the same, except Andrews is just a better athlete.
oh man, I'm looking at the middleweight page now, and it's just some interesting names. This division's weird. Once you get outside of like the top 15, it's just a lot of. You think Brad Tavares would be a stretch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I probably would. Tavares might jab his face off.
Well, funny. Bleacher Report Instagram, they gave Anders a 20-second shout out, which I thought was interesting.
Give him a who?
Or they gave Anders like a 20-second segment on their Instagram.
Oh.
A Bleacher Report.
That's
Kind of
neat.
big for him.
Yeah.
I mean,
Alabama linebackers doing.
Yeah.
doing work.
Yeah.
He probably got more.
I hate your.
He got more media attention than any other fighter on that card.
I mean,
Just off
you're not wrong.
I mean, it's very big.
Yeah, you know, I hate your team, but it is what it is. It is what it is. I'll keep an eye on him. I'll try not to let my Alabama hatred skewer my viewpoint of him.
How Clemson beat shit out of Alabama again?
Huh?
I'm saying. How Clemson beats Alabama?
I'm waiting. I want to see a score that's like 30-0.
What?
Probably won't be that bad, but I think they might get washed. But that's another topic.
Like game winning touchdown like last year.
Yeah, just take their hearts out. I'm sorry if you're an Alabama fan listening to this. I hate your entire school.
Fuck Alabama.
Sorry.
Fuck Alabama. Fuck Duke. Fuck all those cultures.
Yeah, you guys suck. But this next fight, and I think this was what rounded out the main card. Benito Lopez and Albert Morales. This first round was one of the like wildest exchanges I've ever seen. So
Team Alpha Male,
what was it? I
baby.
think. How old is this? This kid's really young too. He's like what, like 23 or something?
23.
He literally looks like a kid in the face. Like, but I think Morales like dropped Lopez with a right.
With a jab.
And he doubled up on the jab and dropped him, and then he goes in to rush him, and Lopez just throws a flying knee out of nowhere, drops Morales, and then what happened?
Well, he
after
landed
that?
three different flying knees.
Right, like because he dropped him with that one, and then I think they got in like another exchange. He dropped him with another one. And yeah, I don't know. That first round was just bananas. Like back and forth with them just knocking each other down.
He almost submitted him from top with like a guillotine.
Yeah, he had the one arm. The one arm guillotine in.
We're saying this is like a round, but this is like 3 minutes because the last like 2 minutes of the round were Morales on Lopez's back,
just laying on him,
like one hooking.
And it was weird too because it seemed like they were both content to just sit there. Like they probably were so tired. Yeah, because he got the one arm guillotine in, and then Morales ended up somehow reverse position. He got back up, and I think Lopez at some point tried to throw another flying knee. I don't know how he fell to the ground. I don't know if Morales landed something on him. Something happened. They had another quick firefight. And then, the rest of the round was them two just kind of laying on each other. I think they were waiting for their health bars to go back up. they both had to have been tired. That's a lot of energy to expend in like a minute. And then second round, I feel like the fight kind of settled down a bit more. Lopez landed a nasty body kick. Heck, he had a couple of good body kicks in this fight. One of them, I think, was like a spinning back kick, too. It it was a really close fight. Lopez probably landed the harder shots. I can't remember if the striking said Morales landed more.
Yeah, it did.
He had more volume, was the more technical of the two. I think I gave Morales the third. I think I gave him the third round. He seemed pretty pissed that he lost the decision. It was a pretty close fight, but I'm not mad. I think I gave Lopez 1 and 2, but it was a really close fight. It was back and forth, and apparently those two had like history on the local circuit. Like they were supposed to have fought each other a while ago. Lopez had to pull out, and they meet in the UFC, and they put on one of the best fights on the card. So. Lopez is really both these dudes, young talents to keep an eye on, especially Lopez being out of Team Alpha Male, so you know he's only going to be getting better. 23 years old, already throwing spinning techniques every other strike. But yeah, this was an awesome fight and great way to kick off the card. Which
I kind of feel
still
bad for
angry that-
Morales because like.
Okay.
What?
I feel bad for Morales because his 4 fights before this were Alejandro Perez, Thomas Almeida, Andrei Skuntov, and Brett Johns. And those are all dudes who had like at least 2.5, 3 times as many fights as he did. and now he's 1-3-1 in the UFC. So
Bye.
Oh man, he was Almeida's first. That's crazy. Yeah, that's not a good. That's a hard. How do you go from Alejandro Perez to Thomas Almeida?
your fight Perez to a draw.
That's
overperforming has like really screwed Morales up.
Yeah, like these are not easy fights. Like, but I guess that goes to show, like we said, man, 35. Like, even if you're outside of the top 15, there's still a lot of talent there. So there's not a lot of easy goings. But yeah, that is a rough stretch. Oh man. And then Sukumtai ended up having his moment tonight. It's crazy because like all of the people that I'm thinking of, like where everybody he's fought, like where they're at now. Like Brett Johns is out here calf slicing people. Sukumtai on the same card, knocking people out. Almeida is, everybody just seems to be waiting for him to put it together so he can make his run. Yeah, I don't know. That's a rough break, but I don't know. I would like to think he doesn't get released.
Nobody really gets released from the UFC anymore. It feels like. Like maybe when February comes around, they have to like dump the roster. They'll release him, but I think he's got a job. If for nothing else, then because he's really fun to watch.
Yeah. I guess you could say that about. Well, actually, you know what? I ain't gonna say that. But yeah, he does put on exciting fights. Lopez is now, he's still undefeated, I believe, 9-0.
9-0. It's crazy how Team Alpha Male just keeps churning these guys out.
Well, they go to work with them. They seek them out to go like work with them.
Mm.
Yeah, that's a lot of talent just like in one gym.
Yeah.
Like you get a bunch of young wrestlers who come out of college and or even just like young fighters who like they're smaller than normal. Like they live in the middle of they live in California, they live in the middle of nowhere. They see a gym that's basically run like a frat house. that turns out like championship level fighters. Like where would you want to go, you know?
Right.
Yeah. Hotbed.
Almost one of those, like, I feel like almost everybody in that gym, yeah, they're like all under 155.
Yeah.
So how does that work with like, because you know somebody in your gym is going to be a champ. So like, do you stick around and just, you know?
You see, they've had this thing where like it's worked out because they've only had like, it's generational really. Like
Yeah.
Faber and Benavidez were like first. Then you had guys like and Castillo, I guess, but Castillo's 155.
Chad.
Yeah, Chad and TJ who came next. Now it's like Cody and Andre Feely,
Cynthia
Cavillo. I don't think Paige is there anymore.
No, she's not. She's in Oregon.
But like these guys reach either the top, like the UFC, and then the top of the division at different times. So it manages itself to work out. Like another dude on this card, is Alex Perez a Team Alpha Male dude, or is no?
I don't think so.
Let's see.
I think he lost. He beat someone who was on Team Alpha Male.
No, he's Team Oyama.
All right. Who am I thinking of then?
On this card?
There's a flyweight.
Oh, Hector Sandoval?
Oh, right. Hector Sandoval. Like, he's a dude who's being brought up at different times than, like, Joseph Benavidez. So.
Yeah.
And then they got Lance Palmer over in WSO or PFL, whatever they call themselves.
Yeah. They get that Ishihara, Josh Emmett, Joseph Morales.
I feel like they should just spread their roster out and send them to all organizations. Like, make like a Team Alpha Male hit squad. Like,
then you run into the problem where the UFC guys are getting paid more.
Yeah, I guess that is true.
I forgot.
But yeah, man, that's a good gym. Iron sharpens iron, and yeah, he's definitely learning from some of the best in the biz. So, but I hope to see both of them fight again. I hope Morales gets to stick around. But yeah, great win for Lopez. Really awesome fight. That was the main card, which was 6 fights, and I don't think I went to sleep until, I don't know, it was like 1. I don't know. These cards be killing me. But all right, so this is the part of the podcast where I'm gonna depend on you guys to help me remember the rest of the fights, because the only one, and like I watched every fight minus the Ramos fight, but a lot of these just don't stick out. The only one I even kind of remember is the Sukumtar Luke Sanders, which we'll get to in a little bit. But next up was Alexis Davis and Liz Carmouche. This was the fight that Frank Trigg refereed. I just don't remember a lot of this fight. I remember like there was a good flurry like at the end of round 3. I remember some takedowns going on, but for some reason this fight just doesn't at all stick out to me. Oh no, I do remember Davis's face was really messed up at the end of this fight. Like she had a good lump going on like above her eye or something. It looked pretty scary. But yeah, I don't honestly remember much of how this fight went.
I don't remember like the undercard really, just because I was switching between Bellator and the undercard of the Lomachenko fight.
Yeah. I was doing the same. I was switching between that and I was watching Glory too.
Yeah, I was just switching between those 3. I don't remember. I just remember the Sukumtar.
Well,
yeah.
I don't know, Antaku, you got any input?
Liz Carmouche should be so much better than she really is. She's super strong. Like she hits super hard. Like, did you guys see Davis giving her post fight? She looked like she had like another human growing out of her skull.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh my God.
And
like
that's
what
what I
came
do
from
remember.
The flurry in the third, where Liz Carmouche just like threw 4 or 5 just straight up power shots on Davis when she had her back to the fence, and then dove on a single leg. She had the fight. She had Davis out on her feet, and she got her back in the fight. Like, and that's the thing. Like, she wants to fight too safe. Like, she has to be a wrestler in her head. Like, and she has to be on top. and that means like she can't give up too much on the feet, and that's why she gets taken down, or like in this case, just straight up outworked. Davis outworked her to a decision.
Yeah, her face paid the price. So that I'm pretty sure she woke up this morning not feeling too great. Well, she got the W, so that's good. But what? Why does it? I feel like we say this every time I bring up Carmouche. Like I feel like it's been these long breaks from when I see her, even though she did just fight last year.
No, because she fights like once a year. She's fought like 3 times since she fought Rousey. No wait, so she fought what's her face? Tate.
Yeah, she fought Lauren Murphy in 2015, won that. Fought Caitlin in 2016, won that, and just lost this. So then I'm guessing we won't see her again till like mid next year. She'll go back on another hiatus.
2019.
Right. I don't know.
We'll see her at Thanksgiving.
Right. But shout outs to Alexis Davis. She's on a 2-fight win streak.
First win in a new division.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Yeah, this was at 125.
Does she beat Nico Montano?
Yes.
I can't say. I still haven't watched the Nico fight. I don't even know.
I like Nico too. I love Nico, but I'm not trying to disrespect her. I love her, but she's not gonna beat anyone.
Well, I think she's going to eventually be like an elite flyweight. But I think she's like where Thug Rose was when she won tough, or not where she went when she lost the finals. When she made the finals, yeah. Like, and the next fight's going to be the Carla Esparza fight.
I'm just gonna say go Nico, even though I haven't seen you fight.
Yep. Nico's awesome.
I like her.
Like, she's super fun to watch. She apparently won her title fight with a broken foot.
We'll see. That division is going to be interesting to see how that all turns out. Because there are going to be a lot of people coming up from lower weight class, some people coming down.
Some people coming from straight up out of nowhere.
Right. So, yeah, we'll see. That division is going to be interesting to see how that all turns out. There's the next fight, Andre Sukumtat, Luke Sanders. Man. So Luke was originally, I think, supposed to have fought Caraway. I don't know if Caraway got injured. Something happened, and I think Caraway pulled out. And it kind of sucks that would have been a big, I think, opportunity for Sanders, especially had he won that fight. But Sukumtat steps in. I don't remember a lot of the first round. I just kind of remember the finish where Luke gets floored. I think it was the right hand. And then he proceeds to eat like 9 to 10 unanswered shots. And shout out to Josh Rosenthal. He was the referee of this fight. He waves the fight off. Sanders seemed pretty pissed that the fight got stopped. But I'm like, dude, when you eat that many unanswered, and like all of the shots landed, and I get it, like you were trying to like do the whole turn my head around thing, but when you eat that many shots unanswered, I'm not mad if they stop it. And I saw somebody on Twitter. I hope you were trolling. They were like, I don't get why they stopped the fight. He was intelligently defending himself. I'm like, oh, what? You got punched 10 times unanswered. That's not defense.
He was flailing wildly underneath.
Right.
Like, that's intelligent defense, bro.
Yeah, like, I don't know what defense you watch. If I go to a gym and they tell me that's defense, I'm leaving. That's not what defense is supposed to look like. But
did you see his leg?
Really great.
Did you see his leg when he was getting up? Like, he didn't have like a full posture of his leg going up. Like, it looked like his leg was kind of like slanted to the side. Like, that's not if you have your wits about you, your leg isn't gonna go up like that. Like you're done, you know. Like I don't know how to say it. Like your mind isn't right if your leg is gonna go up like that.
Yeah. Like if you can't stand right,
Yes, exactly.
there's probably something wrong.
Right. That's an indication you took some punishment.
Your brain got shut off for 2 seconds. That's why your leg went up like that.
Yeah.
But like really nice finish for Sukumtov, who was losing basically every second of this fight up until he got the knockout. Which makes this Luke Sanders' second fight in a row where he won every second of the fight until he lost. He's the opposite of Brian Ortega.
I feel bad too, man, because I was a big fan of Luke and RFA, and I remember when they the RFA's last card when they did the crossover with them and LFA, and they did with Legacy, and they did their super fights, and he fought Terry on Ware, man. He gave Terry on Ware the business, and like I still have hopes for Luke that I think he can still get he's really talented. I know he has a run in him, but yeah, like these last two fights just have not. They just haven't gone his way, man.
They're not even performances where you could say he's bad.
Right.
He literally won every single second of both of his last two fights until the very last second.
Man, and yeah, shout out to Sukumtov, man. Like he was crying after he won.
This is his first fight, his first win in the UFC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he had 2 split decision losses before this. This is actually his third fight this year.
Wow.
Yeah, he fought in March and August and just now. So yeah, man. Shout outs to him. That's a good highlight reel.
Just really quick, like I think Sanders just kind of shows how how talented bantamweight is, where Sanders is a little bit more advanced version of Anders in my eyes, where he understands he is a physically gifted, athletically advanced fighter. He's good, but that's not enough to carry you at bantamweight. You have to have a real depth of skill, or you're going to get shut down. You're just going to eventually somebody's going to have some answer for you, and if you're not prepared, you're going to get run out of town. That's kind of what we're seeing, I think, with Sanders. He's not an unskilled fighter, but I don't look at his game and he's a really technically deep grappler or wrestler or striker.
Yeah, he's solid everywhere, but nothing really deep. Pops, I guess.
Nothing is really deep. He understands coming forward and throwing jabs and crosses. And he understands what positions he has to be in to make that successful, but he doesn't understand don't overextend when you're throwing that left hand, even if you're beating on the guy, because he can counter you. Like Sukumtov did.
Yeah. We'll see, though. I still got hope for Sanders. Just, I don't know. He hasn't been catching some breaks, but as athletic and gifted as he is, I think he can turn it back around. But great win for Sukumtov, though. That was an awesome finish. And that might be the only fight other than the Trevor Gall fight, as far as prelims, that I actually remember. The next fight, Alex Perez versus Carlos John de Thomas. I literally just remember the finish, the anaconda choke, but I can't tell you what else happened and the rest of this fight.
Johns tried to wrestle Perez for the first round. It didn't work for him, and then he got his next stash in the second, and that's all I remember.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like these next couple fights are just gonna be like that. Quick analysis.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I didn't watch it.
Oh, interesting. I got an interesting tidbit about Carl John de Thomas, though.
It was his idol's Manny Pacquiao. I remember that.
Oh,
match.
but
that I did watch that fight then.
the Thomas back on the regional scene, he fought a man in what was marketed as a revenge fight because that man beat his father in a fight.
Oh my god,
Wow.
I love it.
Did he win?
Yes.
Okay.
I love it.
Good job. Avenger pops. That's a bad generational loss if a dude beat your pops and he beat you. That's that's an awkward family dinner.
That needs to be Bellator's next stake to fame.
Sakuraba.
We need
what's his name?
We need Hoist's son.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, don't give them any ideas. You know they'll do it.
What's his name? It's like Corian. What is it?
It's Cronery. It's like Khrony or something.
Game of Thrones character.
Right.
Shout out to him making his debut in January. Bellator debut.
Oh yeah, I think
that's
did.
where all the
Right,
Gracies that aren't the good one go.
Right.
Shouts to Kron.
Right.
Top
Crying over in
15 featherweight Kron.
over in Rosin killing it.
Oh my god.
This next fight I watched and I don't remember it. Frankie Saenz and Merab Javalishvili.
Oh,
I don't know how to say
I
that.
saw that one too, actually.
And once again, shout out to Frank Trigg for refereeing this fight. Yeah, this fight, honestly, I don't remember this like at all. I don't know what happened. Aside from Frankie won a split decision.
God damn it. Davalishvili hit like 11 takedowns. And Frankie Saenz spent all his time punching him in the face.
That's what made this a close fight.
Yeah. Well, Valishvili had his like moments of like offense, like legit. I'm hurting Frankie Saenz' offense in the second, especially. I gave it to Saenz for like just doing more in the second, first, and third. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't paying close attention. I was also splitting time between like 3 different cards.
Yeah.
So I was watching the Michaela Mayer and Shakur Stevenson fights, during this one, I think. So I could be wrong. But I also don't care because I like Frankie Saenz. Like the dude has like no control over what happens in his fights, and he just kind of has to go with it. So it's just like long combinations where he's also eating punches. Plus, he's like 37 years old. I always look for an old guy who's still out there fighting like tooth and nail for every thing. Yeah.
Holy snap, he is there.
Yeah, he is old.
I didn't realize he had this many UFC fights.
How many is he up to now?
He's been there since 2014. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it's only 7. But still 37 years old though. Oh, he had a rough stretch too. Fighting Faber, Wineland, and Mendez back. Oh yeah, the Mendez fight. That was a good fight. So yeah, shout out to him. 37 years old, still out here, giving these young bucks. Well, actually, I don't know how old the other guy was, so I can't say that.
Stoges, you said you thought Valishvili won the fight.
Yeah, but I was just high. I don't know.
Like you still probably remember it more than me. So
like I just remember all the takedowns, and then that's like all I got from the fight. I just remember the takedowns.
You know what does bother me though? Sidebar. So this happened when Khabib fought who was it? Jamie Varner, where like they were like Khabib
Jamie
with
Varner.
Who was it? Jamie.
Oh, did they fight?
I can't remember who it was that he just took down like 20 something times.
I was gonna say, did they fight? I feel like he would have killed Varner.
Was it Healy? No. It might have been Healy.
I don't think he fought Jamie Varner.
I'm trying to remember who it was. Like all these fights meshed together after a while. But he took. I'm gonna just say it was Healy down like 20 something times.
Mm.
But they were counting like the times where Nurmagomedov would get Healy down, kind of let him back up, and then take him down again. Because in wrestling, those aren't takedowns; those are re-entries.
Oh man. Hope Habib makes that walk to the Barboza fight.
Oh,
Don't slip on any glass or anything for
I
between
hope he
now and
does
then.
too.
If not, I hope Poirier is like in camp right now.
Right. Be on call. You know what's bad? I probably should have watched the Sanz fight because I think that was the fight where I got up to go cook. And instead, I did kind of watch the Alejandro Perez and Yuri Alcantara fight, and I should have got up to cook during this fight because, yeah, I mean, Alejandro Perez won a unanimous decision, but not really much at all to talk about this fight. Not really a ton of anything really went
I have
on.
a talking point. Luke Sanders and Brian Kelleher beat the willingness to fight out of Yuri Alcantara. Okay, this is the other way. This is legitimately like the other way. Like fighters just get old. Like they don't just start. They don't just get knocked out. They just start not fighting. Like they have trouble pulling the trigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the story of this fight. Triggers were not being pulled, but somebody still won. So,
Alejandro Perez was like the most unlikely UFC career.
oh man,
He's out winning like split decisions and like close decisions with guys who he probably should be losing to.
Yo, he's only lost one fight in the UFC.
Yeah. And he fought to a draw with Morales, who was like 6-0. So, you know.
Well, good on him. He's making the best of his fights, and he's coming out on the winning end most of the time. This next fight, I didn't even know this fight happened until I saw it today because I didn't recognize either of these names. Davi Ramos and Chris Grutzmacher, if I'm saying that correct. Ramos won via rear naked choke, but I also did not see this fight. Why does Ramos's profile picture look like a movie poster? Who took this picture? Why is it? If you go on ShareDog and look at his picture, like his mugshot looks like the front of like a Creed movie.
Harsh lighting.
I don't know. You're right. Like he must have. Yeah, he's on that endeavor. He's trying to get into a movie or something. This literally looks like a movie poster. It's like the way the photo is. But yeah, I didn't watch this fight. Shout out to him winning. I don't know. I guess you're going for the movie look. It's working. I'm convinced. But, and the last fight on this card, Trevin Giles and Antonio Braga Neto. I faintly remember this fight. Pretty much from all I remember, Trevin Giles, jab, 1-2, 1-2, jab, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, and then eventually he knocked him out. That was pretty much all I remember. But shout outs to right. But shout outs to Giles, man, because I used to watch him when he was in Legacy. He was in Legacy, and I think he had a fight in LFA. So shout outs to him. He is currently undefeated at 11-0. So another young guy at 185. I think he's only like 25 years old. So shout outs to him. Good KO. He got the crowd pretty hyped when he got that KO to start the card off. So yeah. So that was pretty much this card. Pretty solid card from top to bottom. Not anything too crazy. Few good moments. Just the card just ran way too long, as all of these 6-fight cards do. But you know, it ended with Ortega being amazing. So we got that coming out, and Marias had his coming out party. So
at least we got a Fox card next week.
who is
Lawler RDA.
Oh yeah, y'all. Yeah, an RDA. Yep. That
So
is
it'll be
right.
over by 10 o'clock.
Right. And what main card like 4 fights. Oh man, yeah, actually some good fights on here. Got Lawler, Dos Anjos, Lamas Emmett, Ponzinibbio, and Mike Perry.
Hey,
Ponzi's about to put in that work.
I hope he
think,
does.
Perry. I think Perry's about to catch some hands.
Yeah, I hope so.
Teixeira and Serkinov. Who else is on here? Chad Laprise and Galore Bufando.
That's the dude who threw the Charlie Ward on his face.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Tim Elliott. I got Abel Trujillo and McDessie. Oh Lord. Oh, I was trying to forget about this fight. Jordan Mean and Eric Stone.
That's a race to the bottom fight right there.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Ugh.
Man, when Mean was in Strikeforce, you couldn't tell me. I was like, yo, this dude is gonna be a problem, man. And like he's only 28.
Then we found out having 40 fights before you could drive a car.
Right.
It's probably not a smart idea.
Like literally, if you go to Sherdog and you just scroll through his record, like you have to scroll for a long time before you get to the bottom. This dude has fought a ridiculous amount of time. Wow, his first pro fight was against Rory McDonald?
Yep, when he was like 15.
Jesus.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
Rory started at like 16 though, right?
Yep.
Didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, so they started like, around the same time.
Yeah, they're the same age. They're both 28. Jesus Christ.
My memory's fogging up, but didn't Woodley and Mean fight in Strikeforce?
Did they?
I
don't think so.
I don't think
No.
they. No, they did.
They did?
Hey.
Yeah.
I remember that vaguely.
He lost by split decision. That was on the same card as Rockhold and.
Oh, that's
Jardine.
why. I didn't watch the card.
Yeah.
I specifically remember
that.
not watching that.
I watched that card. I remember.
Yeah.
Hey man, that was a great card.
You didn't need it. Hold up, let me see. Who else was on this card?
That was a stats card. That was a stats
King Mo
card. I
versus
remember.
Lorenz Larkin and Robbie Lawler versus Adlan Amagov.
Tarek Staffordine and Tyler Stinson, Nashawn Barone. Yeah, I did watch this card.
Yeah, that was a solid card.
Oh man, Chris Spang was on this card. He was another dude who I actually liked, and then he didn't like pan out to what I thought he would be.
Who?
Chris Spang.
And his brother.
I don't remember.
Chris Spang was the Swedish dude that Strikeforce had, and then his brother was Andreas Sprang.
Yeah, Andreas Spang.
Fought in Bellator, and was basically like a heavy bag that you would hit until you got tired, and then he would knock you out.
Oh, Spang fought last year. He's fighting in Scandinavian Fight Nights. He beat somebody by TKO. So, shout out. Wow, he had a 3-year break. His last fight before last year was in 2013.
Jesus.
So, I don't know. Shout outs to Chris Spang.
Dude, speaking of like potential never lived up to hype, do you guys remember Chris Hordecki?
Oh God.
Oh man, yeah. I'll never forget Chris Hordecki.
IFL legend.
Oh, he still
Chris
fights though.
Hordecki.
Doesn't he still fight?
Yes.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I've seen his name float around, like at least within like the last year or two.
Wait. I'm trying to remember. Crap.
Let's see. Yeah, he fought. He was in WSOF. He lost to Lance Palmer. That was in 2015. He fought last year in November. Some guy named Derek Gaither and TKO 36. He lost by KO. But yeah, so I guess he is still like at least semi-active.
Like when I first started getting into MMA, like I didn't have cable back then or like fast internet. I was still on dial-up, and like the only MMA I could watch was replays of IFL on the local TV channels, and that's where I like discovered like Big Country, Ben Rothwell, and Chris Hordecki.
Did they used to play the
Wow.
Did they used to play the song before the shows?
I don't remember.
Hordecki fought Bart Palashevsky twice.
I love Chris Hordecki. I was like, dude, this dude is so good. And then I realized there was more than just IFL. So
I felt like the way you felt about Hordecki is how I felt about what was his name? Was it Chase Beebe?
Oh, God.
Yeah. Man, I remember watching BB fight. I was like, "Yo, this dude is a beast."
That was like the thought back in the day. Like, what people were like questioning why he wasn't in WEC. Then he was to what's his name?
Man, let me look at his career.
Didn't he fight for the WEC?
I mean, he made it to WEC.
He did, but then he
fought.
and like he
went
on like a tear, and then he wound up in Bellator losing to Marcus Calval.
Oh.
I mean, he started off his WEC career good. He beat Wanlin, he beat Hanayaha, then he ran into Miguel Torres, and then he proceeded to lose 4 more fights afterwards. Oh yeah, his career did not. Well, it's kind of weird because he had this bad stretch of losing. Then he was like kind of alternating wins and losses. Then he went on another like 5-fight tear. Then he went to Bellator and fought Galvo and lost. Then he went on another tear, and then he ended his career on a 5-fight losing streak. And I don't know what his brother's doing either, but I don't think he's doing too well. What was his name? Carson Beebe?
Remember Abel Cullum?
No.
Oh my God. The former King of the Cage champion, who I only remember because I saw his fight with Jimmy Rivera, like literally the day after it happened on like YouTube, and then it was gone like the next day.
I saw Pappy Abedi the other day.
Who?
Pappy Abedi.
Wow.
He had a fight. I think he got head kicked by somebody.
Oh, he fought Dylan Andrews, right?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. I saw that highlight the other day. I was like, I didn't even know Pappy was still around here. Oh, man. That was a nice trip down.
End of the year podcast. Guys that we thought were going to be good, but nope.
I'm trying to, like, I really want to do one of those. Like, I want to do, I just need to figure, like, a date. And I want to do a podcast like that. Kind of like maybe like a year in review, but also just kind of a, it's kind of a just random podcast of just like maybe year in review and then just random conversation. But I kind of want to have some set topics. But
I got like 10 guys on my list that I thought that were gonna be good.
Oh no, yeah, we might have to throw that in there because I know the year ends with Home and Cyborg. I think that's what on like the 30th or 31st.
Yeah.
So I was thinking sometime, I don't know how, because I don't know, because you got the holidays, so I know our schedules will probably be wild. So
live stream the Risen event.
If I'm
just
up.
kidding. I wasn't serious at all.
I would, to be honest, if I didn't have to work, because I'm pretty sure I'll have to. Well, hold on, does New Year's fall out? What day does New Year's fall on?
Tuesday, Monday, something like that.
Oh no, I'll be off on Monday. I'm off on Monday. Hey, there we go. I'll be up.
Special
12 hours.
Once we get the Patreon going, Mike, we're gonna have live casts of us doing SFL.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
I'm not ready for
that. Man. Nobody is. We're not even ready.
Speak for yourselves, man. I was there.
Oh man. Yeah, I want to do. I'm gonna try to figure something out. I want to do some kind of end of the year podcast. But we gotta fit it in like before the home fight. Somehow during that week. So I don't know. We'll figure something out. Or maybe
this year in SFL team fighting. Because that's the thing now.
Oh man. Or maybe we could do like a New Year's podcast.
Oh,
that'll
like
be
IFL?
like.
Yes.
Are they doing the IFL thing?
Yes,
Dope.
they're doing it by city.
Love it.
Oh man.
I have no
It's gonna be a
idea
great
when
episode.
they're going to bring it back though.
Oh man. I'm waiting for M1 to do the medieval fights again. I need another sword fight.
My memory is hazy, but I feel like IFL was like my gateway to MMA. I don't know if it actually was, but like that's like the earliest memory I have of MMA. Kind of. I don't know. Huh. What year was that?
I think mine was, man, that was like
I don't even know. Like
2000, like, I don't know, 4 or 5, something like that.
I know I got.
I think,
I don't know.
I feel like Pride was my, but like I didn't even know it was called Pride when I watched it.
Yeah.
Like I was just watching it and I had no idea what it was. I was just watching Japanese dudes beat the crap out of each other and I was like, this looks great. I think I'm gonna be a fan of this. But oh man,
I just
that was yeah.
I just remember Chris
Nice.
Horodaki like spinning back fist, knocking someone out in IFL, and I was like, oh, I'm into this. Yeah, that was it. I was hooked
And he
ever
got
since.
head kicked. IFL. This was 2006.
Yep.
Or at least around when his fights were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Oh, man.
I think that was my gateway to MMA.
We'll have to do a memory lane podcast. We'll fit that in that episode. We'll reminisce on the good days before we got to all this wildness we got now. But yeah, that was pretty much the card in whole, and we just gave you guys a nice little memory, little history lesson. You guys need to Google all those names. If you're not in the know, man, you need to look up some of these
Oh my
legendary people that we
Oh my
mentioned.
god.
Shouts out to
You guys-
legendary heavyweight Chad Griggs, the grave digger.
Oh man!
Oh my god.
The sideburns. Oh man, those were good times. Good times. But I guess not too far away from 2 hours, so do parting shots, shout outs, things of that nature. I had a couple, but I'm not gonna mention. I got 3. Well, two shout outs and one / mini rant / me sitting on my pedestal and saying something I think is important, but nobody will listen. But whatever. First shout out. We didn't get to mention it too much in detail earlier, but One Championship had a card also this weekend that came on at some obscure time in the morning when I was at work. But Christian Lee, brother of standout Angela Lee over there, won his fight by TKO via, it says TKO punches, but really it was a slam. Like, he basically suplexed Kotetsu Boku on his neck, and he was pretty much out after the slam. I mean, he did punches, but you didn't really need him. He was pretty much out. But yeah, man, Lee is over there doing work. Really young kid. I don't even think he's 20 years old yet.
Damn.
He's like 19. His only loss is to Martin Nguyen, who is pretty much like the 1FC Connor right now, holding 2 belts.
Going for a third.
But he get going for a third.
Is he?
So
I
Yeah.
didn't know that.
yeah, he's trying to drop down the bantamweight to fight Bibiano.
Oh wow.
So then that's not official yet, but I think they are working towards making that fight happen. So
That dude's body is
Yeah,
gonna be done in like 2 years.
right, like, that's a crazy accomplishment though if he does pull that off. But shout outs to Christian Lee, still over there putting in work. Also, I guess quick mention, shout out to, I guess overall just to Glory 49. I was switching between that and the UFC. A lot of good fights from what I saw. Shout outs to Rico Verhoeven, who at one point in that fight was in danger, man. Like, Sadiq came out guns blazing. He definitely had Rico hurt, but Rico got back into the fight, got back to pretty much doing what Rico does, got a KO to end the fight. That fight was wild, so if you guys didn't watch that, check that out. And I guess quick mentions, Alex Pereira defended his middleweight title against Yusri Belagari. I didn't watch this fight. I got to go back and check it, but he won TKO round 3. And I guess last mini rant, me sitting on a pedestal. It was just something that just popped in my head the other day. And I'll somehow tie this back into MMA. But I noticed this year, more than any other year, I've watched a lot of NBA this year during the regular season, which I normally don't do. And for anybody, if you paid attention to the NBA last year and all through their off season, like they ran sports during their off season. Like there was so many storylines and stuff just going on, and then the season starts, and you see teams like Philly getting like these primetime TV spots because like there's so much young talent in the NBA, and I just think they've done a really great job of getting their young talent out there. They're putting them in these primetime spots where we get to see them play, and a lot of them are living up to the hype.
Yep.
So a lot of the games have been good. You got dudes like Ben Simmons, and I forgot the dude who plays for Dallas. He's over there dunking on people. Dennis Smith. Yeah, he's over there dunking on people. Like there's just, it's like every game it just seems like there's a new face. You got Giannis, who's just a freak over there in Milwaukee. I saw a dunk he did yesterday. I was just out of control.
Yeah, oh god.
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
Yeah,
wild.
like that dude is he's different. But I guess to tie it back into MMA, like I feel like MMA could kind of, I mean, I know combat sports are different than, you know, like your regular, like typical sports, but it goes to show you, man, if the product is good, which the UFC has a lot of good young talent, like you gotta start pushing these guys out there more, like just make them somewhat familiar, because the product is there, and if you get them out there, you make them somewhat familiar. You give people a face to root for. People will tune in to watch them.
I think they've been doing that more lately. like Ortega, for example. This was a big spot for him. Sean O'Malley. Yeah, he was on like what the co-main event for a title fight, even if it was like a Friday night title fight for like a tough winner.
Right.
Ngannou has gotten, you know, one hell of a push, and they're going to keep pushing him because he hits harder than any other man living today.
Right. Science proved it. So like,
but I think we're in the middle of a big ass turnover. Like Darren Till is going to get, like, Darren Till's next fight should be a main event, no matter who he's fighting on, like, TV, not on Fight Pass.
Yep.
Who else? Oh crap! I closed the page. Like for next week, for example, Cynthia Calvillo. Wait, that's not. That's 219. Next week though, we got Santiago Ponzinibbio, Mike Perry. Like they're not young, but they're new, fresh faces who could fight for the title.
Yeah.
But no, I get what you're saying. Like I hope it keeps going in this direction.
Yeah, get the young guys out there. Like a lot of them are out here putting in work, and I'm pretty sure they could. You know, I'm not saying that they're gonna be like the next Ronda or Conor and get you 80 million pay-per-view buys or whatever. But you know, there'll be people to root for that I think you can even get like a casual fan to tune in to watch fight if you just.
If Darren, I said this when we talked about it, but if Darren Till versus Don Cerrone had been on Fox, Till would be a star right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's always like this oddly timed thing with them too, right? Like they'll have like a guy have a star making performance, but it'll be on like Fight Pass.
Right. We're only like the hardcore, you know, fans of seeing them. But yeah, man, that's just my little spiel. Just get the young guys out there, keep pushing them. Not just in the UFC, like in any promotion, man. There's a lot of young rising talent who, you know, just get them some more.
Yeah,
promo.
Bellator.
they need to promote Brent Primus.
You stop promoting guys in their like 40s.
Hey, they got the fat 5 wrestlers. Come on.
Oh man, but yeah, that's pretty much all I got for my shout outs and stuff.
I got 2 real quick. Shout out to Orlando Salido, who fought last night. He lost by 9th round KO to Miguel Roman. It was a great fight. If you guys haven't seen it, go see it. Go check it. It was really good. Salido's retiring after like his loss last night. So if you're one of the people out there who wanted to see like the rematch between him and Vasily Lomachenko, tough shit. But I like Salido is kind of famous for being a dirty ass fighter. If you saw the Lomachenko fight, you know what I mean. Like he hits below the belt a lot. He will headbutt you.
Thug life. Oh man. Oh, we didn't even mention the Lomachenko fight.
Oh yeah,
Completely forgot about
that was
that.
the main event of the whole weekend.
Right. Yeah.
The anti-cool disappear.
man.
Oh, well, sorry. I got you guys in a second because
Oh.
he's my second one. But shouts to Salido. Because like the dude's whole career has been just fun to watch. Like you want to talk about a guy who just goes out there and chucks bricks like that. That's Salido, and he does it so well. So best of luck with retirement. He went out the only way he could have gone out, and that's by getting knocked out. So you know, props. And my second one's Vasily Lomachenko, who continues to make pound for pound fighters look like chumps. Like, I feel so bad for Guillermo. Like, he got blackballed from boxing. Like, everybody and their uncle was ducking him, and nobody cared. He is legitimately one of the most talented boxers on the planet, but he forced himself to move up like 2 or 3 weight classes to fight a man he basically stood no chance of beating. Like, I was more interested in how Rigondeaux was going to change up his style to try and win this fight than seeing if he actually could, because like Vasily is like what 12 years younger than him or 10 years younger than him, throws way more than him, is more powerful than him, it has faster feet than him. Like, there was the only way Rigondeaux was going to win this fight is if he knocked him out, and that was not something that was probably going to happen. It sucks that it ended like it did, but it's fitting in the poetic sense for Rigondeaux because like this sport, like he left Cuba to make a better life for his family in this sport, and this sport has done nothing but like shit on him since he got here. Like, he's still boring. Like, he can't draw a crowd. Blah blah blah. Like, he has to fight in the undercards for like UK fighters who are fighting for like British championships. Like, that sucks. It kind of makes sense that at the end of the day, like when things completely weren't going his way, he had to like he quit. So I don't give him as much shit as all these other people have, but like, because I kind of get it. Like, this sport kind of drain. Like, I think he's just fed up with the sport at this point. But well,
I mean, so you could tell during that fight, like it wasn't about to go any other way. Like, he had nothing. Like, it was no point in dragging that out. And I saw people like he should have went out on a shield, but it's like, you don't need to take any more unnecessary damage. Like, clearly you know this fight isn't going your way. He literally did nothing else other than clinch, like
and duck.
Yeah, like clinch and duck. It wasn't much offense, so it's kind of like, I get it.
Yeah, like in terms of talent, I think I'm safe. I feel safe saying Lomachenko is like the most talented man in boxing, probably the most skilled man in boxing. I don't think that means he beats everybody, but like I'd love to see a Mikey Garcia fight. I'd love to see a Terrence Crawford fight. Maybe hell, if they can convince Pacquiao to come out from like Congress, like maybe do that fight at like 135. Why not?
Yeah.
But
hold on, him and Terrence Crawford are close.
He's at 130. Crawford's at Crawford's moved up to 147, but like I'm sure I'm not sure that they would meet at 140. I think Lomachenko would have to go up to 147, which I'm not sure he wouldn't do. Like, because it seems pretty clear he's too good for everybody at 130, and he's probably too good for most people at 135.
We'll see though. Dude seems to be like must watch TV anytime he
Like legitimately, like if you're a combat sports fan, not even a boxing fan, like watch Vasily Lomachenko fight. It's the closest thing to like proof positive that this is like an art, not just two guys like getting drunk and wailing on each other.
He is the Matrix, and he dragged Rigondeaux so far in the Matrix that Rigondeaux unplugged himself and got up out the chair. He just left. He took back that red pill and took the blue one, and he was like, "I'm good, man. I'm good. I don't need to see how deep the rabbit hole goes anymore." So.
Also, shout out to Virna Jandiroba, who fought in that Invicta card and submitted Amy Montenegro with an armbar. Apparently, she has wins in grappling over Amanda Nunes and Claudia Gadelia. So I'm sold. Like, there's a blue chip prospect at strawweight.
12-0.
Yep.
Funny you said that because I'm hovering right over that card. Just mentioned it.
Yeah, I saw that on MMA Fighting.
Also, Vanessa Porto.
Did she knock somebody out?
Knocked out Milana Duzieva. Body shot.
Oh, man.
Lomachenko versus Mighty Mouse. Make it happen, Dana. Two greatest of all
Mighty
time.
Mighty Mouse don't want the problem.
It's funny you say that because I'm pretty sure Lomachenko wrestled as a kid.
Make it happen.
The future
Dana.
GOAT.
Lomachenko, Mighty Mouse. That's the fight we've all been waiting for.
Little did the world know that the greatest martial art is Ukrainian step dancing.
Yeah, they mentioned that. That's crazy. He took him out of. Then he made him dance for like 4 years or something.
Yeah, he stopped him for boxing so he could go dance.
That was dope.
Hey man, it worked. That footwork is
godly.
Genius.
Yeah. Footwork is crazy. Any shout outs, Stoges?
Oh yeah, I won't give a parting shot because I feel nice this week, but I don't know if this is a right, but shout out to Sean O'Malley for sharing his weed with the homeless people of Fresno. I think I saw that on his Instagram. I don't know if it was yeah, exactly. Good guy. Fuck food, right? And then shout out to my best friend, Mr. Clean. He just proposed to his high school sweetheart last weekend at Disneyland. And he asked me to be his best man, so I'm excited for that.
It's a high honor.
Yeah. I think we're gonna go to a UFC event in Vegas for his bachelor party. I'm not sure yet. We're hoping the Connor GSP thing happens.
Don't wish that on us. Don't you bring that negativity on this show.
Either I'll take Connor or Tony. I don't care.
I hope you're ready for those $1,000 tickets.
Yeah, I know, right?
Right.
This is his big day.
Yeah, you gotta do it.
Yeah, I gotta do it big. Hopefully, the whatchamacallit, the International Fight Week is 2 days instead of 1 day.
Didn't they used to be actually like literally all week?
Yeah, I think it did. And then WME took over, and it was only Friday.
Friday, the day they normally have a fight, like a card.
They said we're not paying you guys all week for this.
Cheap bastards.
We gotta cut costs. we gotta pay back that $4 billion loan.
Bastards.
Oh man.
But I think that's all my shout out.
And quick shout out to the Cleveland Browns who finally fired their GM. Good job. Good luck rebuilding that organization that has won like one game in the last 2 years. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this week. We got Dos Anjos and Lawler coming up this weekend.
Who you got?
I'm gonna go with Dos Anjos.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm gonna say the same. Just because I want to see, or I don't want to see Lawler Woodley too.
Yeah, I think Dos Anjos takes this. It's gonna be a fun fight, but I feel like he's gonna edge this one out. And then we end the month with Cyborg and Home on like 30th or 31st, and hopefully sometime in between then we'll squeeze in a special podcast, end of the year wrap up or something like that, or either sometime this month, or maybe we'll just do that for January. Maybe kick off the year with something special, some kind of just random podcast, just to have some fun.
The Stoges interview that everyone has been waiting for.
We're probably going to get you and Joey. We're going to have a nice big group 8-hour podcast.
Oh my god.
This will be the longest podcast in history.
The podcast
we'll
that
just talk
never
about
ends.
Right. We're just going to talk about nothing. It's going to be a podcast about nothing.
I was just going to make it like a running gag to where me and Joey are never on the same podcast again, but then we just take shots at each other, but we're never actually on the same podcast.
Well, I did tell him I'm trying to get him on for the Cyborg one. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. But, as always, podcasts can be listened to on SoundCloud, YouTube, Google Play, iTunes. If you're on iTunes, please rate and subscribe. On iTunes, questions, concerns, whatever thoughts you have can be sent to Dojotalkpodcast@yahoo.com. If you send a question or anything, maybe you'll make it to the show, maybe not. But it's there. And you can follow me on Twitter @SerialSensei if you want to chat or harass me about whatever you want to talk about. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this week. Fun week of fights. We'll be back. Always wildness going on in the sport. Never a shortness of things to talk about. And also, I gotta start doing my end of the year list for albums, which I need to do my homework on. But that's another topic for another day. But thank you guys for listening. As always, anytime people are being punched and or kicked in the face, we'll be here to talk about it. And hopefully we catch you guys next week. Peace.